Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nana from Tangle Time Arts, and today we're going to take a look at Arukas by Zentangle, and this is week 10 of our Tangle of the Week. Wow. Okay, we'll need some paper, either computer paper or tiles. I have a Bijou and an original size tile from Zentangle. Um, I also have a black pen, and I'm using the apprentice pen, but any black pen is fine. I have a tortillon and a number 2 pencil. All right, let's get started. I am going to start on the Bijou, the sweet little Bijou tile, and that's just to demonstrate. Oh, let's focus in here. There we go. And I am just going to start with my black pen, and I'm going to draw a circle. It's a little bigger than, well, just about the size of my my pen cap there. And really, in its simplest form, all we're doing are circles or parts of circles and lines. So once we get our initial circle, we're just going to draw some lines. So I'm going to draw a line, and then I'll aura that line. And then I'm going to rotate and add another line and aura that, and rotate, add another line, aura that, and rotate. I just kind of keep going around my initial orb, my initial circle. And you can have as few or as many as you would like. And once you put those in, they kind of look like spokes on a wheel. Then we go to our next step, and that is simply to aura around the circle, the orb. But every time we come to a spoke, we pick up our pen and air draw over to the other side, put the pen down, and keep going. Like that. All right. And then we continue with our auras. So we're alternating between going around the circle and then putting auras on either side of our initial lines. And once we've made it all the way around, then we go back to adding an aura around the circle. And you can rotate your tile if you need to. And then I'm going to go back and put in more auras around the initial lines. And you can do this as many times as you like, or as few times as you like. You just keep repeating the process. And that is basically Arukas. We'll do a little bit of shading, but I just want to spell that for you. So that's R-U-K-A-S, Arukas, which is actually Sakura spelled backwards, and Sakura is the name of the pen company that makes these pens like the apprentice pen that I'm using right now. All right. So once you have that filled in, I don't know why this is not focusing like I'd like, but there we go. You could go back in and add a different tangle like tipple, or keep filling it in with the auras. I'm just going to shade this really quickly before we work on our original size tile. And for this one, I'm just going to add a little bit of shading in these areas where our lines extend from the orb. And there's different ways to shade this, but this is kind of my favorite way. And I also like to add a little bit of graphite here just for some interest. And then I also like to maybe put some graphite along the edge. Okay, I'm going to switch to my tortillon, and I'm simply going to pull up that graphite towards the edge. So you can either do like I am, like push it away from you, or on the opposite side, you could be pulling it towards you. It just depends on your preference. There's no right or wrong way. And if you'd like it a little darker than mine, you can go back in and add a little more. Let me get this, soften this a little bit for a nice rounded look. And then I'm going to go around my edges just to soften that as well. And there you have Arukas. Um, it only takes a few minutes actually, and it's a really easy tangle to fill any space with. And what's really cool is even though the original tangle has a circle and orb in the center, you can try replacing that with a triangle or a diamond shape or a star shape to be a little different. But I do really like it with the orb in the center. And then I'm just going to add my initials here, my chop alongside there. And there we go, our little Bijou tile with Arukas on it. Okay. And now I thought we'd do a little bit of a larger project on a regular size tile. I'm going to take my pencil, and for my string, I'm just going to pencil in a star shape. It does not have to be perfect at all, because mine definitely is not. Kind of like my little lopsided star there. And then I'm going to go back in and take my pen and put in my orb. I go over it a couple times just to define it really nicely. And then from there, I'm going to have my line and then aura that line. And I'm going to do that for each point in the star. And once we have that, then just like before, we are going to sort of aura around our orb, but remember to air dry over the spokes that we previously made. Once we've done that, we will fill in these auras. And we're just using a star shape just to experiment with filling in any random space, because really Arukas can be used to fill in any shaped space, which is kind of cool. And now we will switch to our curved lines here. And then back to our straight lines. And even though we're using straight lines here, you could, as you work with this tangle, switch to trying curved lines. Right. And then I think we'll go around at least one more time. Depends on our space. All right. And I apologize for the sun peeking through with the time change, with springing ahead. The sun is just showing up in unexpected spots throughout my house, which is nice because it's been kind of rainy, so I'm not complaining. And I'm trying to think, can we do this one more time? I think so. Try one more time. And all right, now we're back at our original starting point. I am going to put the cap on my pen and pick up my pencil again. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with our little Bijou tile. And I'm just going to add the graphite along these spokes here. And then I think before we blend, I'm going to add one thing in ink that I think would make it look far better. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. Okay, before we go any further with our graphite, I'm going to pick up my pen again, and I am actually going to ink in these center spokes. I probably should have done that before I started adding the graphite, but no worries. And this is optional if you don't want to to add the ink, you don't have to. I just think it's going to add some drama. And we have one more. All right, so now we've got a lot more drama there, and I'm going to switch back to my pencil. And as before, I'm going to add a little bit of a shine here. And I think for this one, instead of inking around the star, I'm just going to add some graphite along the edge instead. You could, if you wanted to, you could ink around here and then add your graphite on the outside. But I'm going to do this a little differently. There we go. And then I'm going to take the tortillon and I'm just gently blending these out like we did before. And I kind of prefer to, in this case, push it away from me. So I'm starting towards, closer to the center orb and pushing that graphite away from me. And that's just my preference. If you prefer to work the other way and pull it towards you, that's awesome. And then now I have this here, which I'm just going around and kind of pulling it in. So I'm gently rubbing the tortillon back and forth and kind of pulling it in at the same time. And there's more graphite probably on the tip than towards the valley here. Rotate your tile as you go so that it's easier for you to work. And here we go, our last side. And then all that's left is to blend out this little highlight in the center, like that. And we are finished with our star with Arukas as the tangle inside. And like I mentioned, you can fit this pattern inside any shape. We did a star because it has a nice drama effect to it. But you could put this inside a circle or a triangle or a square or a pentagon. You could try anything like that, any random shape. I am just going to add my chop in the bottom corner here rather than work it into the piece. And on the back, I like to have my name and the date. And this was Tangle of the Week 10. And we only worked with Arukas today, which again is Sakura spelled backwards. So we have our regular size tile and we have our little Bijou tile. How sweet is that? So two tiny projects that I hope you enjoyed. Because I always have fun with Arukas. It's another one of my favorites, and I hope you enjoy it too. And practice using different shapes on the inside, and also maybe using curved lines, and see where this tangle takes you. All right, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope the sun keeps shining for you. And remember, I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.